folks, I'll get started here, and hopefully I can go through what I need to go through and then have a couple of minutes for any questions, or have you guys get a head start on your next session. I'm Coach McCreary, as Coach Monero said in the audio in the beginning here. This session is called The First Steps for Players, Throwing and Catching Mechanics. I kind of have a passion for defense, and I've always been raised to care a lot about that side of the game. And that's because when a lot of kids, when they want to become better players, you know, they'll go to the Freddie Hill and they'll go to the batting cages and they stick a quarter or a token, and they never seem to throw any ground balls. It's always the hitters, right? People can hit all the time, but what will get you to the next level is how well you throw the ball and whether you can catch the ball. Because when you get to the high school level, there are so many kids who can hit, but where do you play them? All right, and if I have a good glove, if I can throw the ball, I'm accurate, I have a strong arm, I have 9 chances on the field to play. I can be taught to play any position, from pitcher all the way to first base, outfield. I can be taught to play any position on defense if I can catch and throw. But if all I can do is hit, there's only one spot for me, and that's the DH. Okay, so just the odds, I have a much better chance of playing if I can master the concept of catching and throwing. And basically, defense is just catching and throwing. So if you look at a ground ball double play started by the third baseman, the ball's hit, third baseman catches, he throws, the second baseman catches, he throws, and the first baseman catches. It's just a game of catch, pretty much, every single defensive play. But it's amazing how many kids really either they don't focus on the mechanics of proper catching and throwing, or they haven't been taught, or a combination of all of them. And even at the major league level, some of those guys sometimes make mistakes because they don't do the basic fundamentals. And I always tell coaches, if you want to look at something pretty interesting, now that there's going to be spring training games coming up, and particularly when the major league season starts, you get a chance to see all the box scores in the newspaper. And I want you to look for something. In most cases, and you can count this every single day when you check the newspapers, look for how many times the winning team scores more runs or an equal number of runs in one inning than the other team scored all game. Okay? Look how many times that happens. And do a little check. Say there's like 15 major league games. You will not be shocked. Don't be shocked if like 75, 80% of the games, the winning team scores more runs or an equal number of runs in one inning than the other team scores all game. And that is because of 2 things. Walks, because the pitcher could not throw properly, or errors. Somebody could not catch and throw. That puts more runners on base, the other team gets a big inning, and they end up winning the game. So that's something to check when you're looking at the newspapers. Look at those box scores. I think you'll be amazed at how many times that does happen. And that is all because guys could not catch and throw the ball properly. And so I'm very big at teaching kids at all ages how to catch and how to throw, because that's going to carry on with them at every single level and ultimately be the reason why they make that high school team and then have a chance to move on to college particularly. Well, I'm going to break up my seminar into 3 areas: catching, and then I'm going to give us a little tips on the transition between catching and throwing, and then I'm going to finish with actual throwing here.